This is 7th Street and Whitmer Street.
We're gonna go around the Kentucky over here quick, y'all. That's all. Let's see what's down here in the top. I'm gonna walk down here. Look up here, man. I don't think they don't know. It's rough down there, boy. I'm just gonna go down here and see what's up. Going to Little Tokyo right now. You know, I'm on that, right here, 7th and Lucas. Right there, you know, I'm headed to Little Tokyo. But I ain't gonna be going long. I'm gonna go on down here to Little Tokyo.
Now approaching 7th Street and Whitmer Street.
We back right here, and we got my brother. He was on the panel, and what would you like? This is KBDH Radio, Illicit Media, John Williams Show, the John Williams Shephard Show, and I'm the host and the co-host.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, yeah.
Give me a second.
So, anything that you would like to say, anything that you would like to add to our viewers and listeners out there, because we're going to put this out there, and this is something that's definitely needed. I lost my son last year and just buried him in September of last year. He was 25, and you remind me a lot of him, man. Oh my God, I was just, some of the things you were saying, I said, oh God, he remind me of Isaiah so much. But is there anything that you would like to say to the viewers and the listeners out there in this media?
What I'd like to say is, when it comes to our community,
absolutely.
I'm glad that we're starting to have this conversation around mental health, but it's more than just depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar, things of that nature. Sometimes, you know, somebody's therapy can be as simple as acknowledging each other when you see one another. Understanding that we have a struggle. We have a collective struggle. So just simply saying hi to somebody, acknowledging them when you see them.
Absolutely.
Being able to talk to one another, being a safe space for one another, asking each other what a safe space is for that person so that we can try and be that if you have a close relationship with them.
Absolutely.
That's what we need to do more and more. Getting rid of the separation and bringing in some sort of collective mindset as far as identifying with, talking to, and being open and transparent with your brother.
Absolutely. I really enjoy that, man, because we shouldn't see each other anymore as strangers.
Right.
Distantly.
Right.
Distant strangers. You know, I got braids, you know, and I got my stuff, you know, with this thing on my head. You know, my brother got dreads, you know, and my another brother might be bald. You know, we all we share something in common, regardless of our background, upbringing, or whatever the issues may be. I heard some people in there talking about they had been to prison and some things that had took place from there, and people that lost their families. I just lost my son, you know, and things like that. It's just time for us to come together collectively and unifiedly. And I want to thank you again, my brother, and appreciate you for coming out, man. And what the things that you said, man, I took that to heart, man. And I thank you again for it, man. We love to see you again, man. Thank you, my brother. Sharing that gospel, brotherly love. That's us right here on Illicit Media, John Williams Show, John Williams Shephard Show. And this is what we do, y'all. This is how we do it. It is time for us to really come together, to be together, to do things that's common for us, and not be so afraid of one another. Who is that? You know, all that kind of stuff. I mentioned my hair because sometimes we'll look at that and think, well, don't get around, don't come, why they look like this, why? I mentioned my neck because that's what we do. We stereotype each other. And it's just time for us to get up out of that. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what a person is and who a person is until you really speak with him and talk to him. So what I'm about to do is, because I got my Zales on, my Zulus on, I gotta glue them, y'all. I'm gonna show them. Now these are Isaiah shoes for my son, but because I've been through we've been through a lot of ups and downs. See, they talking right now. See, he was home. We was homeless on the street, and so he was wearing them. So it's all right, though. I'm finna take them. Ooh, my stuff clapping. I was talking about somebody yesterday. I was telling him my stuff clap too now. So I'm finna take them downstairs, put my shoes on, my sneakers on, and take these off. So I'm finna get the key real quick. I'm gonna go back in here, get the key real quick. Well, I'm gonna go back in here and grab the key real quick. Yeah, this gonna have to be fixed. I'm flipping and flapping. All right, y'all. So,
Oh, do we? Yeah. Yeah, he's out. My thing is this, man, because I'm a little older, and when I came up here, I felt the electricity right now, so I'm pumped up. I'm about to get out around. I don't even think I'm going home tonight, man. I think I'm going to be out. I think I'm going to town. I'm going to go buy me some clothes right now. I am too. I think, yeah, I'm feeling a little electricity, man.
Yeah, I know.
Do we? Yeah, I'm going to find out then.
He's got like a little shop thing on not too far from him.
I need to find out then.
He's got something I think for like
Because he producing now.
absolutely.
All right, Doc. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna go get this gear. You got my number. I got
Sir.
I want you to say something to the John Williams Show real quick.
All right, let's go,
John Williams Show, John Williams Shephard Show, KBDH Radio, Enlisted Media, right here, exclusive. And we got an opportunity to do an exclusive interview with my brother right here, NFL player, former NFL player. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my
So I'm Chucky Miller. I play with the Indianapolis Colts, UCLA Bruins, and the most proudest thing is I played for Long Beach Poly High School. It was my pleasure, man, being invited out to speak. Great. I feel good. Happy.
Yes, absolutely. This was a wonderful event, and I wish a lot more people would have been able to come out today. But this is just before the Super Bowl, right here in the city of LA, in the heart of LA, and this is my really first time ever coming out. I actually came to LA in '85. I was 9 years old then. But now coming back now, years later, things have changed. Things have evolved. But one of my things is, I just buried my son, and just hearing the testimonies, my brother, because that loneliness, I also felt that as well. But being able to get around people with the same sense of and same testimony and really have the same things that's going on, that alleviate a lot of the things, man. And I really want to appreciate you brothers for coming out. Thank y'all.
Where's the bar at? Because I'm
Long Beach.
No, I know, but where?
2222 East Anaheim.
What's it called though?
Long Beach Unified.
Long Beach Unified. Oh, that's what it is. Cause I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's new. It's only been over 5 months.
Oh, yeah. I thought
You live in Long Beach?
Yeah, I'm in that area.
Where at? What part of Long Beach?
Like Ocean down that way.
So if you took Ocean to Cherry, I don't know what part of Ocean you're on, but it's
Like it's Alamitos, it's like.
all right. You can take Ocean down to Cherry, turn left, turn right on Anaheim.
Oh, okay.
But just Google Long Beach
Yeah,
Unified.
yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it
I'm
was.
gonna be there. I'm gonna take the missus on Friday.
Come
see you.
Come see me Friday. All right.
Come see you
I'll
Friday night.
see you. All right, cool.
Oh man, I appreciate you. And we'll talk and try to get something going. Even just one-on-one. You know what I mean? So,
Okay, cool.
check in with you and see how you doing.
I appreciate that.
Y'all ready?
You good?
Yeah, oh yeah, man. I certainly appreciate that, my
appreciate
brother.
it.
Thank
All
you.
Man, thank you for showing up. I appreciate it.
Wonderful, y'all. Y'all see how this is? And I had it this way because, it was this way. So hopefully it wasn't too dark. But I'm standing on the red carpet and stuff like that.
This was she put it together the last minute. God blessed it for me. For you guys to show up, man. I can't thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. I appreciate you, brother.
Oh, that's
My shoes starting to talk now, y'all. My Zuluzels, they starting to talk. Look at that, that's so beautiful. Oh, that's so beautiful. You gonna have to say something to the John Williams Shephard Show for me. Hello to the John Williams Shephard Show. This has been an awesome event. We've been going around to a lot of the athletes and a lot of the other people just saying that this has been an awesome event and thanking them for coming out. I've shared a little bit of my testimony with you, and I've seen other people and I've heard their testimonies, and this right here is a delight to my heart for the simple fact that, like they were saying, you see that you're not alone.
Right.
You can get into that shell and think that you're alone, but this right here is definitely needed. Right here in the heart of LA, and we're going to be pushing this more and more and more and more. We're going to be pushing it more and more and more and more.
We'll be in touch, definitely. Okay.
And so, is there anything you would like to say? Anything you would like to
I
add?
just want to say, I hope you guys really got something from the conversations that we had today. We had people sharing their stories. We also had mental health professionals giving psychoeducation and information. This is really the beginning of breaking the stigma regarding mental health in minority communities and athletes, you know, having the conversation, which helps normalize it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and make sure you follow MPN on Instagram, minority_psychology_network.
All right then. See, look at that, y'all. We got it going on, and we're gonna be doing this more and more and more. And this is not the first or the last. And this was perfect. We enjoy. And well, they're gonna be doing a picture now. So let me get out the way and let them get that picture real quick. And this is the person that put it together. And I wanted to get with that. Let's. They finna get back. They're on the red carpet. They're finna get the picture real quick. So let me get out the way here. So I think that's it there. Oh. Beautiful.
Football, or whatever. Hey, it was counselor for you. Ain't crazy, whatever. So, but I don't really know what my greatest moment. I have had a lot. I'm pretty sure I have. I've done a lot. You know, I continue to do a lot, but I don't know what. I take success, I take greatness as that's what I'm supposed to do. So, you know, it's kind of what I shouldn't do, but yeah.
It makes sense.
It's crazy.
It does. It makes a lot of sense. Go ahead, DeAndre.
I think my greatest moment, just NFL, just actually it happening, because I was always saying it as a kid, like when I was 10 or 11, I'm gonna go to the NFL, high school, I'm gonna go to the NFL. People in high school, you're crazy, you're not going. All right, I'm gonna keep going, right? College, same thing. You know, didn't know how I was gonna get there, whether it was drafted or free agent, got there. So I think that's just my greatest moment, just believing what I said I was gonna do and it happening regardless of what people said wasn't gonna happen. But I knew in my heart it was gonna happen and nothing was gonna stop me to get there. And you know, I'm just thankful. So to add on to Chucky, I know your greatest moment is you getting there. I know that's a part of your greatest moment, getting there, because all that hard work that you put in, everything that you said you were gonna do, you did it. You did everything you said you were gonna do, and that's why you're like, you don't know, but you know now. You gonna know now, because I'm saying it like that was your greatest moment, because you said everything that you said you were gonna do, you did it, and when you got there, it happened, because you believed in it. And I truly believe that's my greatest moment for myself, but I truly believe that's a part of his greatest moment too.
Fill in the blank.
That's totally true. But let me end this with this, man. Continue the discussion, create a platform for young athletes. Start real young, create it. It's definitely needed. Like I said, you know, I think that I know so many athletes, and I know some of the trials and tribulations that they go through, and they definitely need to talk. And one of the biggest things in our community is this, and I'm gonna end this on this. Every year was a trip is this. Every year, I not only went out to make the team. For me, guess who I went out to make the team for? And there's a reason why. For everybody that was hoping that I didn't make it. When somebody come up to me and say, you only played 3 years, I look at them like literally, dude, what you work for? And I'm not trying to put nobody down. Like, dude, I could do that. You need a high school diploma. And that right there is one of the, your community will have an impact on you mentally as well. So every year, even to this day, I got a bar. They waiting for it to fail. You know, and that still is tough. You know, and mentally you have it in your mind, even though you don't. And I tell my kids this, and you guys, y'all doctors, y'all tell me this, because most people say I don't need anybody. I just tell people you don't need bad people. Right. You need good people. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you start thinking if you're by yourself as an athlete. I don't need nobody, but you still need bad people in your life. So yeah, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. Oh, this panel, everything.
All right,
Thank you
yeah.
so much. Each and every one of you added something very special to the panel. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing this a lot in the future. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, DeAndre and Chucky, for sharing your story. Thank you to all the mental health professionals as well. I'm going to open the floor for a few questions before we close. Any questions? Oh, no questions?
Well, I wanted to say, I think she was saying that the first form of football was a flag. I think when we was growing up, it was for us, it was throw up tackle. Can anybody agree with throw up? We used to always play throw up tackle.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Both athletes. What was it like coming up, as a young boy playing pee-wee football on the field and in school?
For me, it was great. It's like I grew up in a community where we're always friends, and all we had was Pop Warner. So man, that was great for me, man. I love all my friends. The community was there. It had a great impact on my life. And then having just my mom without my dad, the coaches all serve as dads. So it's just great, man. It gives you a sense of hope. Something to work for. So great for me.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, playing Pop Warner, just coaches that believed in me, just the friends that I had, being a kid, I think that's another thing too, just being a kid growing up, and as you grow up, you can still be a kid, you know what I mean? It's just, the adult life will take your mind to a standard, and we're really not supposed to, like, I don't know, I know I'm kind of going off, but when you're a kid, you don't remember things as much. As you get older, you remember things, and then you start living in those things over and over and over, and you can't be a kid again. But what I truly feel is how God wants you to be. He wants you to have that mindset, that belief. That's the belief that you had to go make it every single year in your life. Mm-hmm. As a kid, you believe that you're going to go to school, go to recess. Go to school, go to recess. That was your mindset. That was your belief. Now you start getting to that adulthood, things change. But as a kid, Pop Warner, I'm gonna go back to that. Pop Warner, it was a great thing. I had a lot of friends that I made. Just my mom and dad supported me. Just playing. My stepdad was in my life, and he was the one that got me into football. He's the one that got me into baseball. And I just thank him for that. I thank God for placing him in my life to put me in that position to be able to play sports.
Can I have one more question?
Sure.
This is for all the males out there. It's like important. Can you think of a time as a child that you cried, and as an adult that you just cried about something just to get it out? Because I know that as little, boys, you were told not to cry, suck it up. You gotta be tough. Don't share any emotions. So you can start with that in.
That's a good question.
Athletic related or just in general?
Just in general, just let it out.
Moment of transparency, I'll be honest, like for me, football, like you asked, like how did it help you, how did it feel? For me, because I was always the athletic fat kid, I didn't get to play until high school. So playing football in high school gave me the opportunity to finally be seen and finally be able to show what I could do. The flip side to that is, it got me to college. Yes, I got scholarships and things of that nature, but where I would cry is, like we said, those moments you remember. I remember not the stuff that I celebrated, not the wins. I can kind of remember championship rings and things like that. I remember coming out of the locker room in Ohio and everybody's with their family and friends, and I don't have anybody. So the loneliness that I've been feeling most of my life that football was supposed to take away from was now re-triggering that same loneliness.
That's good.
Because I'm headed back to campus by myself. Everybody's going out. I don't really drink like that. I'm graduating early, so I'm in grad school. I can't risk what y'all could risk. So I end up being reminded of how alone I was. So those type of moments made me like shed a tear, not a little thug tear. I wasn't gonna let myself really cry. But I had those moments where it's just like, oh, hey, DC, this is my mom, so and so. And in my mind, I'm like, man, you don't know how lucky you are to have my mom 3,000 miles away. We ain't got the money for her to come to every game. In my entire collegiate career and even in my professional career after, my mom was able to come to 3 games total. High school, every game. After that, barely saw her. So it just reminded me of that loneliness. So those are the things that I used to like cry about in silence. And even as an adult, when I can see somebody feeling lonely, it triggers what I used to go through.
That's good, that's good.
Little kid, never cried. I was pretty much, I had a pretty good kid life, man. Like, I had a bunch of friends in Long Beach, man, East Side. We was real close, so I never cried. Sports was everything back then, man. Sports was just dope, super dope when I was a little kid. So never cried, you know. We was poor, but everybody else was poor, so we know we was poor. You know what I'm saying? So it was all good with us, man.
Piece of the pie.
The last time I cried as a dog, probably I think was like last Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago. You know, just a little sad. You know, just it's the pressure being me. So yeah, it gets sad sometimes. So you know. So about 2 Saturdays ago, after I came home from my bar, I was like, man, this shit's tough. Everybody wants something, so yeah.
As a kid, I'm trying to think of times that I've cried, but I mean I've cried falling down on the ground. I done cried, you know, just in Pop Warner. I remember the first time someone called me the N-word, I was like, dang, why you call me that? I was crying. Because I've never, like, that's just how I grew up. I didn't hear it. I was like, why you call me that? You know, my coach, Hispanic, he passed away a while ago, but he was just like, he can call you that. I'm like in my mind, I'm like, for real? Like, all right. So that was like one moment where I cried as a kid and had many moments crying as an adult. Breakthroughs, I mean, just I'm from San Jose, of course, California, and then I moved to Memphis, Tennessee, and just crying tears of joy because God allowed me to make that move, and it was everything He was telling me to do. And I wouldn't be here today without my Lord and Savior. So I'm just thankful for that because even this opportunity here, I'm gonna keep saying it. It's a God divine opportunity, and the right people are here at this at this moment. It's the right time for everybody, from earlier till now. So, just crying tears of joy from moving from California to Memphis and knowing that He has a purpose for my life. God has a big purpose for my life, and yeah, just many moments. So that's one of the biggest ones.
You think that while I was waiting for the last one, I would be thinking about it, but I wasn't. I was sitting here recalling their stories because they tell the truth. Like as a child, you know, when you're young and all you know is you get home from school, you go to practice, you watch some cartoons, the family got dinner ready, and then you get ready to go to bed and start it all over again. So it wasn't too many opportunities, even like when you fall, like you're taught in society as a male to not cry.
Suck it up.
We're taught as
Dust it
kids that you don't like suck it up. Like she said earlier, like suck it up, right? You know what you crying for. Even like when you got consequences, when you got spanking, don't let me give you something to cry about, right?
That's good.
Like all the faces in here, we all know that face, right?
That's good.
That probably triggers some people now.
Start sniffing.
But you know, and so you're taught these ideas of not to cry and things like that. I think probably like the death of my mom when she passed when I was 8. Even then, didn't even know what death was, right? Because you're still young and you're like, what does this mean, right? And so, and I think as I got older, the time when I cried was, I think when I not only got my doctorate, because like he said earlier, in football, you know, there's a lot of people who are hoping that you don't succeed. Right? You deal with that the same in education, right? And when you get in professionalism too, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, you're not gonna make it. And so to, you know, part of my story, you know, I had a lot of people who are just told this isn't for, education isn't for people like you, right? Where you live, you'll probably get a job or go to, have some kids, and this isn't for people like you. So to overcome those obstacles, and then and now that I'm older, right, and I getting my doctorate, and then also getting married, not having a mother there was kind of like circle back, right? When I was younger, crying, trying to figure out, should I cry that she passed away? And then she's not here. And then when older, I know she's here, right? And I think one of the biggest times I cried like a baby was at my wedding. I walked the aisle, and then I get there and I'm waiting, and I look into the crowd. My wife surprised me, had a picture of my mom sitting on the seat with the girls there. And I was just folded like origami. And they had to hold me up. I was just right? And so, because I was happy, right? And so now that you're older, you're able to articulate and be able to identify what this means. Like he was able to say, he cried after work because he was able to identify, like, yo, this is stressful, right? I was able to cry and able to identify, I'm happy. So I think that's good.
Thank you guys for sharing. That definitely was touching. And a lot of us deal with that, even, as women too. A lot of you guys here are professional Black women, so, we deal with different things as well. And, having those vulnerable moments definitely empower and uplift us. So again, thank you guys so much, and thank you all for being here with us today. Please make sure you follow MPN on Facebook, Instagram, pick up one of these brochures so that way you can get in contact with us and get mental health resources, information, and follow our future events. Everybody have a great day. Thank you, panelists.
Make sure y'all come out to Long Beach Unified. Long Beach Unified.
What's that
on Instagram?
What's that address?
At LB Unified.
What? Get that address.
2222 East Anaheim.
2222 East Anaheim. All right then.
Thanks a lot. Nervous? Hey, what's the address? 2222 East Beach? Anaheim. Is that near?
So it's not that far. So it's in the Cambodia town.
Yes.
Not that
Okay. So I was trying to see if you were chatting with me. Yeah, let's exchange contacts. She's great. So I think I just
Oh yeah. We coming back in.
Yeah, so you wish she was for grades. That's why when you said your name, I was like, that sounds familiar because I went through. Yep.